this, and a haste rune for that matter, so he does get one. He just wants to go back for the stacks, but now Fearless was coming in, but Zephyr will avalanche them and slow them down. I don't believe Fearless can really set up for a kill here, but he's going to try towards the north onto March. They get the chains, they have the dust. Jackie going to rotate, and he'll pick up his first kill of the game on the Ricky.
Yeah, and just a lot of emphasis on finding these early kills. The panel did call this one out, right? Like, MG Trust have an aggressive lineup. They want to keep playing quick. They are finding that pace here. Lots of emphasis on that mid still. And I like the shake-up of playstyle here from Among Us as well. We're so used to seeing March build up stacks for himself. This time he's sniping those stacks, doing the right thing on that bounty hunter. You're still getting a lot of space out for your IYD Morphling. He is still pretty much top of last hits right now. Should get into a decent point with his own Morbid Mass timing in. It's about that time where we see these safe lane cores switch out and get a push. So In Your Dream works its way top. They've got Arena ready and Cuckoo. They might look for a fight here for the push.
They're going to try. In Your Dream, top of the net worth board. Feeling very confident. Jackie will just keep eyes on what's going on and does steal some large creeps away from In Your Dream. In Your Dream got that one. The adaptive strike was out in time. Arena, Cuckoo just commits it. He wants to go for an easy kill. Arrow does fly in from the backside and Cube. And Jackie gonna get started onto Cuckoo. It's not worth the boom bell kill to lose your offlane Mars like that. I think Motivate, they'll be happy with that trade.
They definitely will be. They get a nice kill out onto Jackie once more. He's currently 2-0. He's off to a really good start, and his defusal is going to be flying out soon. That's going to be a big spike for Ricky. You're going to have to watch yourself there for Among Us. We talked about the Bounty Hunter perhaps being a counter to that. The issue is when you see March in a Bounty, he does take a while to hit the level 6 mark, so it's going to be a little bit longer until you start finding a way to keep track of that Ricky. You're just not going to get the levels fast enough.
A quick update on Fearless's bottle as well, John. He hasn't gotten a rune yet.
Invisibility!
But stole the bounty runes off him as well, so he couldn't get that either. But top lane, it looks like there's about to be a bit of a fight to break out. Masseros has joined with his team. Corrosive Haze will be there on Zephyr. They just want to keep tabs on this Tiny. He does jump in now. Spear misses, but Vortex will be there. Are they going to commit? Fearless, he's around as well. But Among Us, they don't seem too interested in fighting. They don't have the arena up yet. So they will back off for a bit. They'll just accept the fact that they've forced Motivate to rotate. And while they have rotated top, John, March is getting level 6 down at the bot lane. He's just about there. So I think this is actually very worthwhile for Among Us to kind of force everyone top from Motivate and just give March the space he needs to have that track up.
Yeah, it's not the typical play we see. You know, March getting some level prioritization, but you do want to rush that 6. So it's going to be steady for March. Should have it by maybe about that 12-minute mark, if not the 12.5-minute mark. Jackie is here to start shoving the wave out, though, and they could go for a push here Among Us. They don't particularly melt these towers fast, but they should have Arena back up. And that should maybe get MG Trust thinking twice about this engagement.
Sunlight Shadow top lane. They're making a rush here. Fearless is underneath the sentry, but the Arena not going to catch him in. Fearless, he got a whiff of what was going on just at that last split second and backed off at the exact right time. Arrow is going to be there in Your Dream. He's not strength forcing yet. He's in trouble, and Masseros does manage to finish him off. Onto Zephyr now they go. Tiny going to run away. MG Trust looks like they don't want to risk anything. They're happy with the In Your Dream kill, and they will back off.
It's really not a clean fight for Among Us. The only silver lining is that Abed bailed out really early, so he goes down mid, he farms up. He's a few parts off this Orchid now, so our Storm is about to be a huge miss. Jump in long range, get the control off on, say, Fearless before the yields is up. That's going to cause issues for our Ember, so going to be really good for Abed if he keeps this free farm up. And overall, I think Among Us, despite being behind in kills, 3-7 right now with a 1k lead for MG Trust, they're not doing too bad. They're still meeting some key spikes coming in, and they're still maintaining control on the map. MG Trust has not been able to really take any objectives, so they're not able to deny any farm away from Among Us, and they are keeping up quite well on their main course at the very least.
I do agree with you on that, John, but look at Jackie. Look at his itemization right now. He's just a recipe away from having the Diffusal Blade. And we all know what happens when a Ricky gets the Fusel Blade, John. These poor supports on Among Us, they're not going to be very happy.
They're going to be ripped apart, especially Zephyr. I think you've got... I think March is going to be a bit more cautious unless he walks into a sentry, but Zephyr is the most vulnerable one, and this is not the hero you want dead. He's still saving up for his blink. He's a bit careful.
Zephyr is by himself. Fearless is going to rotate. Jackie also there with the smoke screen. Chains are out. Zephyr, there's no real way out of this one. That is going to be a nice kill there for our Ricky, and he is just about there for the recipe now. So Diffusal Blade will be up for the next team fight. Again, I think that's going to be a massive, massive problem for everyone on Among Us, as they really don't like being purged in a smoke screen.
Yeah, it's all down to positioning out for Among Us. Like, you're going to have this spike as well for Abed because his Orchid's flying out, so it's the Orchid, Storm versus the Diffusal Ricky. It depends on who jumps who first, and I think we should expect Abed to maybe start playing faster to match that Ricky, but they do have level 7 as well in March, so it's perhaps time to start sniping with that track and with the Orchid, and of course for a Ricky as well, you want Jackie to start finding some heroes to isolate and keep stuck in that smoke screen.
Here we go, they're grouping up top lane in your dream, Cuckoo and March, just to the south of that top lane. They know Jackie's there. They should have seen the Diffusal Blade now, so they know what they're fighting into, and they're bringing up even more heroes. Arbit with the smoke is also around that top lane. Who are they going to spot out though? Moonlight Shadow is there. They're not going to find anyone up top and motivate. They're rushing into the mid lane now. They might just spot out Zephyr on this Tiny.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Looks like the top tower taken. Arbed, mid lane does zip in. Silence out onto our Ember, but they're not going to continue chasing. A bit of a warning shot there from Arbed. Both teams seem to be paying a lot of respect to each other in this game number 1, as yesterday's series, it was so close, it could go either way, but bot lane, March, he's been caught out by that smoke screen and Corrosive Haze now, and Masteros will happily take the kill on the Slaughter.
Is under attack.
It's going to allow him to get closer to his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, you're still meeting some key spikes. MG Trust, the one thing they need to get done now is to even out map control. You can see Among Us, they were shoving into top lane. They've still got Cuckoo around there, and Abed, who has revealed his Orchid, but hasn't really used it in a meaningful way. So you're still looking for that opportunity. Perhaps once you have some additional follow-up, say the use or Blink on Cuckoo, you can start playing a bit more forward, but that will allow MG Trust to just take this bot tier 1. So they eventually trade tier 1s evenly, and you don't see as much progress for Among Us, but it's a farming game. IYD is still farming up. His Manta style is almost done, and that should give him some opportunities to at least defend himself as well, maybe purge himself out of chains. Won't help with the smoke screen though, but you would hope that In Your Dream is cautious enough to not really want to force a fight with a Ricky yet.
With this slow game as well, John, it seems as... Oh, actually, bot lane, Jackie being stalked by March, but neither of them know that they're there. Everyone's looking around for this Ricky. They know he's here somewhere, and March will get his courier. Zephyr dusting up, does miss. Jackie has a sentry there, and March will realize it now as the creeps are following him, but they'll see Arbed, who also pops the dust. Jackie is really playing with fire. He is going to go in onto Arbed. He's going to give it a shot. The silence is there in time, and Arbed is going to die to Fearless. He got the Slide of Fist just in the nick of time, trying to chase down In Your Dream, but he will waveform away. Very spicy plays down this bot lane.
Yeah, it's a strange trade. Like, killing Abed's big, but you also lost an Alacrity Blade, so you're Rashius the late 13 minutes, although they're not done.
In Your Dream's gonna rush in, gets the chains off onto Fearless. Avalanche Toss gonna be enough, but Masteros is gone onto Zephyr. Arrow is gonna miss. Zephyr is still gonna die, however. Definitely a very good trade for Among Us so far. Jackie, however, going for more. In Your Dream looking to turn back around with that Ember Morph. Sees Masteros. They also see Jackie with all these tracks. Marina is going to be there. Cuckoo setting up, and now Arbed zipping right into that Ricky. Does get the kill onto Q now. The Marana in trouble, and In Your Dream does burst her down. Among Us pushing it back their way. unwilling to back down from Motivate. Trust going for more now. Burnbill caught out, and this is one thing you have to be very worried about if you're Motivate. But Masteros is going to jump in with a bash to the deeps and a stun out. Arbit's out of mana, and Masteros will actually trade.
Out of your depth.
I didn't think he'd get away with that, but he does. And what I was about to point out, John, is you don't want to give too many track kills away to Among Us, as the gold is going to skyrocket if they get too many of those. But they've lost Arbit again on the Storm, and or Motivate, they may not be too upset about that.
No, you're evening it out, so at the least that's not quite a draw, but salvage. But it's not as bad as it could have been. And Jackie?
Mid lane, Jackie, he's found an easy target. Zephyr, he knows he can't get away. It's the classic, John. You're playing against the core Ricky. You see that smoke screen and you're suddenly diffused. Forget about it. Just stand there and accept the fact you're dead.
Yeah, he is saving up for the 4 staff now, Zephyr. So he's got the right ID in hand. It's just going to take a little bit more farm, and they're going to set up for that mid-tier 1.
Jackie's underneath the sentry. Be careful. Among Us, just trying to bait him forward. I love these plays here from this Radiant side.
Zip.
Trying to invite them to go after their Morphling. Masteros, they will jump in now. Jackie with the smoke screen, but the Manta is going to be there. Purging off the Diffusal Blade. Q, Arrow is going to land onto March, but now the arena comes down. Cuckoo blocks them off, but Fearless is there. They will kill off the bounty. Meanwhile, Masteros jumping in, but he does not catch anyone with the stun. But they want to go after this tier 1 mid tower. Among Us, I believe they still can fight back. Arbit is full mana right now. He's just going around and getting bounty runes for the team. And it looks like they're going to choose not to fight. They're going to let the tier 1 mid tower go down.
It's the safe bet. It's just a bit less good without your bounty ult kill.
Zephyr, Avalanche toss, a great setup. Burnbill's going to go, but Masteros, he started again. They're trying to go into In Your Dream, but he mantas. Now Arbit back onto the Ricky. Jackie, he's going to get bursted down with the Orchid. Zephyr, he does eventually die, but at what cost for Motivate? They're just chasing down this Lana now. In fact, never mind, they'll go on to Q instead. Q prompting it up, but Fearless trying to hold them back. An arrow to fly through. And Fearless, he's in a bit of a tough position here. Ooh. The spear's going to come out. They do have enough damage. They will get a big Ember kill. Great team fight there for Among Us.
The Orchid of Abed's really paying off. He's just targeting Jackie every single time, preventing that Ricky from getting anything done. And I suppose that's one way to handle the silence coming in. You just Orchid up the Ricky when you know he's there. Without the Manta up on Jackie, he's just forced to sit and kind of take it. So you got to get this Manta up on your Ricky quick for MG Trust. Abed is starting to pick up pace. He's already got his Kaya as well to boost his damage output, going straight into that Bloodstone. And this is when those kills coming out from your track starts to pile up. March already has a 4 staff. So if you want to catch the Bounty Hunter out, it's going to be tough. And in fact, if the Bounty Hunter's around for anyone under smoke screen, you've already got the counter to that. So heads up play for March, and with that spike, they do smoke up once more in Among Us.
I don't blame them. I mean, they've got the track. They know they can snowball. They've just got to keep it going. Top lane, looks like they have spotted out Fearless. In Your Dream, gonna go in with the chains. It may be a little bit early, but no, Cuckoo's gonna be there with the spear. It is not gonna land. However, Arbet zipping in the right position. They knew where Fearless was going, but now Masteros is in with a double stun, holding them down. They'll let Arbet go. They'll go after March instead. Nice turnaround play from Motivate Trust. Not allowing Fearless to just die for free. Fearless in the end does end up surviving.
Yeah, they do manage to get the right play though. It's that 4 staff from March, and I think you're going to start seeing that with this item pickup in the Bounty Hunter. March is in a position where he can sacrifice himself, save his own cores, and he will always take that trade. So MG Trust has to be aware of the positioning of March. I think they were doing the right thing earlier on by bullying him and keeping him down. Now they've got to keep that investment in the sentries, in the dust, to ensure they know where the Bounty Hunter is and prevent him from getting any sort of saving play out here.
There's going to be a smoke up from Motivate now. They want to try and rotate into that Radiant Triangle, but the smoke going to be broken before the Moonlight Shadow comes in.
Dire's middle
In your
tower
dream,
is
confident
under
he'll
attack.
be okay. He kept farming for a bit, but eventually will waveform out. Into the mid lane though, March has been caught and is going to get dusted and get killed. It's not quite the kill they wanted, but they'll have to take it, and maybe they can make a Roshan play out of this.
Yeah, I mean, they can still melt Roche with Corrosive Haze, so this is relatively quick. Among Us does have options to go in, though. They've got Blinks, they've got the Zip, they are on the opposite side of the map, and they might be a bit too slow in this one.
Oh, they might make it. I mean, Arbit can zip in, but he's going to hurry up here. Roshan is getting very, very low. They don't have time to wait. Arena is nicely timed, but the Aegis is already down on Jackie. Does get him still fearless. He's going to die to In Your Dream. They have the silence out onto Jackie with the Vortex, but it's not going to be enough. They'll turn back around now. In Your Dream, the one in trouble with that Spirit Vessel. He's just melting. Fearless fall back as well. They'll get In Your Dream onto Zephyr. The Tiny's going to die. And this Roshan fight does not work out for Among Us. The only thing they force out is a death and a buyback on Fearless, but that is it.
Yeah, in the end, Fearless still gets money over that. Like, he spends for the buyback, he still gets 198 from that fight recap, so he's in a very good spot for that kind of exchange. They've got a second life on Jackie. He's got his Manta style up on Ricky, so he doesn't have to worry about that Orchid. And Among Us, you know, if they wanted to fight, they needed to move earlier. I think it was a valiant attempt. The arena wasn't quite on point as well. You had your Ricky outside, so Jackie could still get the work done. You've got to be a bit careful about initiating like that. There is some pretty good control here from MG Trust to follow in. Not a big lead though.
Radiant's
Still just 2k on top, so there's still a lot of opportunities for Among Us to grow.
Well, the thing is, John, it's not a big lead at all for Motivate, but that's against the Bounty Hunter, right? We always make the comparison with a Bounty and, say, the Alchemist. You never want to be behind in net worth when you have this hero. If you're not ahead in net worth, you're just not going to be winning the game. In fact, mid lane, Arbit.
Spoil that shot.
Oh boy, gets caught out by Q. That clumsy net into the arrow is quite a painful combination. Does get taken out, and that's one thing with Arbit, he can't afford to happen. You can't die like that, not to support Mirana.
No, and Abed, we mentioned his build-up. He went straight for the Orchid. He's still rushing out that Bloodstone. I believe he does have the gold. That leaves him with 0 defensive options. No Eul's, no BKB. And so any form of control coming out here from MG Trust is always going to lock him in. And he's got to be a bit cautious about how far forward he is. Very easy to punch that Storm. It's also funny to note, you talked about Clumsy Net. Abed's been playing with his own, and that's just a double-edged sword in the Storm, so you really got to be cautious with that item. I think it's much better on Q on that pause 4, and Abed's going to be... I mean, he's trying to buy space out here, right? It's Abed Storm, just trying to get some space for In Your Dream to keep his farm game up. He needs to weigh these decisions carefully, as once you start dropping on that Storm, it gets a bit hard to get some space out later on.
Mid lane Cuckoo. Can't walk out of that tree line right now. Mastros is standing on the other side. March taking care of couriers, just taking them out as he does. Cuckoo. He's gonna run away now. He's had enough. They do scan out Jackie, just farming up. I want to go back to In Your Dream for a second, John, on that Morphling. I do like his itemization choices after the Eye of Skadi pickup. I do believe he is going to need that BKB. I mean, the Manta isn't proving to be enough to avoid all these silences, all this control, and as well as that, the Spirit Vessel from Q has been making his life very hard. So I think the BKB is going to be very worthwhile this game. But as I say that, they jumped in. Mastros is there with a stun, but Arena is going to be dropped into a nice spear round. But the stomp is there to stop the damage. Jackie does die. That'll be one life. Mastros going back in after In Your Dream, but the silence is there from Arbit. Straight onto the Ricky. Mastros low. Jackie even lower. He's trying to run, but he cannot. Great turnaround there from Cuckoo and Arbit. He managed to save their position 1 Morphling. And that is the key to victory here for Among Us. They cannot allow In Your Dream to die.
Yeah, they're doing a good job about keeping that Morphling up. Jackie was a bit greedy with his smokescreen usage there. It just took way too long hoping for that chain stun. Now they're going to have to defend 1 hero down.
Oh, Fearless. Oh, he's been ulted up, but the spear is going to be way too slow. Now the arrow is going to be out onto Cuckoo. Still Zephyr, a nice toss back on that Mirana. Do they have damage? Masaros, a 3-man stun, but they have still caught out Q. It's going to be a pos 3 for a pos 4 trade. Still better for Motivate here as Fearless missed the chains. It's a bit too early for those, but they'll be satisfied with holding on to that tier 1 mid tower as well as getting that pos 3 Mars kill. Also going to buy time for Jackie to be back up. Just get back to work on that Ricky. Looks like Jackie's even farming up his own BKB, so he's just getting a bit annoyed now with the silences out from Abed. And he's also running into the same issue where the Manta is not enough this game.
Yeah, it's definitely not for both cores. They've got to worry about the control. Even Fearless now has his BKB up.
Poor Zephyr. He has a Ghost Scepter, but Masaros is going to be there. How demoralizing. Masaros always on point, 6-0-8 on this Slaughter so far. A very, very strong performance from him, and all mid lane, Abed. Chained up, the stomp is also going to connect, but I don't think they'll have the damage unless the arrow does come in, and Fearless will take the kill. And Q, he has been haunting Abed this game.
Oh, he has been on point. Just the right target in mind as well. Keeping that storm down means that there's a lot more pressure in your dream to really farm up, to really get the carry gameplay out on this Morphin. We were talking about BKBs. I want to point out here, Mike, Masaros has his BKB, and Fearless already had his BKB. So you've got options now to keep playing. They Moonlight Shadow up and chase.
Yeah. Dream, again, doesn't want to be caught out like this, but they do run past the sentry ward there, so they have been just scouted out, just barely. Among Us will just safely back off. March, however, may not be so safe as he has been dusted by Fearless. Fearless will go back to the bounty rune first, and then he'll go after this bounty hunter. I mean, Fearless is 7th kill of the game, and it's also getting to the point where Fearless is going to get quite dangerous, John. He's working towards that Ags. He is still about 2.5k off. Once the Ags is up, it's going to be that much harder to control this Ember Spirit.
It definitely will be. Fearless is already all over this map. Adding to that mobility is going to make it a lot harder for anyone to feel safe. And you gotta love the discipline from both sides. You talked about those sentries a while ago. Even MG Trust has a ton of sentry pulled out.
Q set up is going to be there on Q. They are on the high ground if they want to help. Q does buy time with the Glimmer Cape and the Yules. He's actually going to leap out of there, but Zephyr jumps up. Avalanche toss still not going to be enough. Q will leave, and now Masaros, he's looking to turn around. They will not in the end. They will just hold the triangle as In Your Dream is playing with fire. Waveforms in, but Masaros does not connect the stun. Chains will be there, but it is Matt dodged off. Trust might be about that time to leave. They do it. March getting cracked out on Fearless, but Masaros jumps in for a stun. The BKB's there on Jackie now. You've got to be wary of this. 10-second charge and March. He's been caught. He is going to die. Arbet going to zip in onto Fearless, but doesn't have a good angle. Zephyr, meanwhile, does kill off Masaros. A great kill there by our Tiny. Still a good trade for Among Us.
Yeah, they win out just a bit. They dragged the lead back to just a steady 1k. Have to say, MG Trust have been really cautious with their BKB charges, Mike. Masaros dies, but his still stuck at 10. Fearless has been very disciplined to hold his at 10 as well. So if they popped it, perhaps we could have seen more aggression. They were diving tier 2s though. So it was always a bit dicey, but you can see how confident they feel going that far. I mean, they understand they need that aggression. They got the DD and they Moonlight Shadow again.
It's that level 20 mark as well for the Ricky, John. So you get the plus 475 Blink Strike cast range, and that's when this Ricky becomes completely broken, as you can just jump in onto Arbed like that, and there's nothing he can do about it. Jackie, he popped the BKB, so he's just going to keep going now. Zephyr trying to TP, but the stop will be there in time, and that is going to mean this Tiny is just going to die. It's the 3 now for Jackie. Back into that mid lane. It looks like they do want to start trying to work on that tier 2 mid tower.
Middle tower is
and that is one of the big weaknesses of the Motivate Trust draft, is they don't take towers very quick. But we are reaching that stage of the game where you've got so much damage, it doesn't really matter if you have the heroes for it or
Radiant's
not.
middle tower is under
Nah,
attack.
it still really melts. The DD was helping, but
Radiant's
even
middle
Boom just
tower
slapping
has
away
fallen.
with Stapler is really a huge help. And they're going to set eyes to the high ground. A bit risky. They don't have an option for a Roche. There are still the top lane to play with, and they are pinging out that tier 1, so perhaps clearing out another lane first before looking up. Still sets Among Us in a very awkward spot. You know, their lineup is just not getting the running start they'd want. They finally have that BKB on In Your Dream, so he is a little bit more durable in the front, but the Roche is about to respawn.
And it is. Abed, how's his farm going? March is still working towards that BKB. March is looking for couriers, but that's going to cost him his life. This is
Radiant's top
not
tower
something
has
you
fallen.
particularly want to see at this stage of the game anymore, these courier snipes. It doesn't... I mean, it's influential for sure, but only if there's a big item on them. Still, Roshan pit. They do jump in. Arbit with the Vortex and now Cuckoo. He's been silenced by the smoke screen, but still gets the arena off. Just the nick of time. Gets the order time, so Boombill is going to drop for Jackie. Almost killing off Arbit. Trying to chase him down, but he is out of vision now. Back into the mid-river. Zephyr will drop. So both supports dying. Cuckoo still being chased there by Q. They are going to ignore him. They are going to go back for the Roshan. And without Zephyr around on the Tiny, it should be a much easier time for this Roche to go down.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the potential to zip in with Abed, but this Roche just falls so quick when you have a Slider.
Fearless.
And,
He knows Cuckoo's there somewhere. Oh, he gets the slide. Can he get the chains in time? No. Unlucky. He still will get the Roshan.
To the Dire.
yeah, it's a big boon for MG Trust. 2 lives on Jackie. They've got the cheese to give out to Fearless as well. You know, I'm looking right now on Among Us Abed. You know, he went for that Bloodstone. He's down to 9 charges in March again.
He's getting bounty runes, Johnny. He's doing his job. He's doing the best he can, but
A soldier's fortune.
again, I question how effective it is at this point. Like, bounty runes are very valuable, for sure. Is it worth your life at the risk of a high ground attempt? Probably not. But Arbet zipping in, bot lane, trying to go onto Fearless. Fuels is there to purge off the silence, and BKB will be popped, so he does not get speared up. Q, Arrow is going to be avoided there by Cuckoo. So Arbet, he will get the BKB forced out by Fearless. That's going to be something.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty nice win for Abed. Again, he's still in an awkward spot.
Q, trying to get an arrow angle, does get one, but the 4-star is going to save from the stomp. Zephyr saving the day on that Tiny. He's still probably going to die unless In Your Dream can save him. He does waveform in, trying to go for the fight, but here comes Jackie onto Zephyr. Does kill one off, still Fearless has died. In Your Dream looking good here, does get a double onto Boombill. He'll go onto Jackie now. The Ricky copying a lot of damage. Masros meanwhile, BKB TPing up, but In Your Dream, he has the damage output. He'll get a triple. Now Arbet onto Jackie, but the blink strike away will be there in time. And Q going back in for an arrow that may cost him. Cuckoo, he does get the Yules off. The spear will not connect. Q, he has the Aeon disc. He's going to try for the TP, but the stuns are going to be there, and Q does die to Arbet. That is a big wipe for Among Us. 4 heroes going down a trust at the cost of nothing for Among Us.
Middle tower is under
Very, very
attack.
good trade.
Zap!
Oh, it definitely is. It drags the lead down, so MG Trust are just constantly on the same line as Among Us. You are starting to see the potency of Morphling, right? It scales a little bit better into late. Actually, I'd say a lot better into late compared to the Ricky. You're going to need a lot more items on Jackie to come in. The initiation of MG Trust needs to be in line, and we're seeing the effects of those 4-staffs. Just the 4-staff spam from Among Us causing issues here for MG
Dire's
Trust.
middle tower
Their
is
spells are
under
a little bit
attack.
harder to land, and you talked about that build-up for In Your Dream. The BKB's done, the Butterfly's done as well. So he's evading some of the right-click damage coming through, and he is just a beast now in this Morphling. Level 25 Spike as
Dire's
well,
middle
2
tower
waveform
is
charges.
under attack.
They've got so much mobility in this
Dire's
Morphling. He can
structures are
absolutely
fortified.
focus on that back line and force an unfavorable fight from MG Trust.
Dire's
Yeah, this has
middle
become
tower
very
has
problematic now for Motivate Trust. Even if they do still have the slight net worth lead, they've lost their momentum, and like you said, these power spikes now for Among Us are going to be huge in the late game. Of course, you've also got to look out for Arbet, Johnny. He's still level 21, but he almost has that BKB up. And we all know what happens once a storm gets level 25. It kind of becomes impossible to push into it. And Abed, of course, will probably work towards that Aghanim Scepter build-up after this BKB. But for now, we have a big smoke up. In the river, Masaros looking to engage, does spawn out Cuckoo, doesn't make the jump yet. He's been very patient, and it will cost him. Like, I'm not sure if that was just the fog of war for Masaros, not being able to actually see the Cuckoo Mars. It did look like Masaros was just being patient, trying to look for a better target. Top lane, they're trying to Zephyr. Zephyr does get chained up. He'll drop. Nullify now up on Jackie as well, so no more Ghost Scepters for Zephyr to be able to survive through these. That's all they get though, a tiny kill.
It could have been a lot better. The nighttime vision's really causing some issues here for MG Trust. You do manage to wrangle control in that triangle, but you see Among Us is maintaining some vision control as well on the opposing dire triangle. So it's a back and forth. They're farming up tier 4 items. That's a huge one for Abed, just having Spell Prison boosts his damage up, boosts his presence as well. And MG Trust, I mean, it's 19 to 33. That's the crazy part, right? 19 to 33, a 3k lead. Only a 3k lead with that much kills. It's not quite their game. Among Us are still keeping them in check.
Look at this, John. Among Us, they're being very patient, trying to go into Fearless, but no, the spear misses. They still got the Hex out in time with that Prince's Knife. Arena dropped as well, but Masaros is going to come in. They'll go for the fight. Meanwhile, Abed rushing onto Goombel, does kill him off, and now In Your Dream is going to take down the Aegis on Jackie. Onto Masaros. In Your Dream, he's doing so much damage. He will just right-click Masaros down. The arrow, though, is out. With the smoke screen, In Your Dream is in trouble. Falling low. He's going to try and fight, but he cannot. Jackie will be able to take the kill on the Ricky. 3 down for Among Us, 2 down for Motivate.
Top tower is under attack.
MG Trust, they're going to try for that top tier 2 tower.
Never refuse gold.
Pretty much all they can aim for at the moment.
Yeah, it's not really a quick take as well when it's just Jackie. They need a little bit more, although. Ooh.
March. Just running around, doing March things, looking for couriers. He's just going to avoid any kind of engagement right now. Well, he's being a very good support, taking care of those bounties. His bottom lane, they're having a gander here, trying to find Abed. And the real scary point for Motivate, John, is when Abed does have that Ags up. With a Spell Prism on top, it's going to be a very painful experience.
It's going to be a very different game once you've got that in Abed. He's been farming very well, you know, shoving out the waves as he can, pulling out some camps while he can. Just about 2,100 gold, roughly. Yeah, now 2,100 gold off. So once you've got that, you're going to be in a really good point as the Storm. You're going to be able to really drag control out, and that's always been a hurting point for MG Trust. Their control is just not as clean. And ooh.
Yeah, both Spirit Brothers getting a Spell Prism. I mean, that's balance, John. That is balance at its finest.
Yeah, definitely 50-50 there. Still, you're also going to have a spike out here for Fearless. So he's going into that Scythe of Vice. You're going to have that Hex on hand as well for your Ember. And that's going to be pretty big. I think in terms of the cores fighting up against each other, Jackie's Nullifier has fixed his issues with the Force Staves as well. You will need that MKD, but they smoked up.
It's a huge smoke, John. He sees Abed. That's a massive target. Abed does have the BKB, but he doesn't get it off in time. He does get forced off, though. He will survive, but it looks like Cuckoo will die instead. Onto March, that bounty hunter, not going to last long. Into Zephyr. He's a bit of a sitting duck right now. He's been netted up. Zephyr trying to survive the best he can, but he cannot. 3 down, no buybacks on all 3 of those heroes. And Abed, he's going to be on creep skipping duty now.
It's the best he can do, right? He dodges the gank. The Force Staff saves are coming into play again. A bit greedy with the Nullifier used there on a Ricky, just trying to hold out and using it on someone else. Cost them the Storm kill. That would have been really good, but they still find some nice pickups. That's going to give them some time to get a push, maybe clear out that top lane, take up the tier 2, and just kind of wait out. I think they're going to need the next Roche before they feel confident in the high ground. They could take their chances, but it's not going to be very clean. They're going to have to line their shots well here.
Well, they're going to try for the tier 3, but Roshan instant respawn.
Wow.
Yeah, Roshan literally instant respawn. Of course, neither team will know yet, but they have couriers going out to them. They are going to be able to take the tier 3
Radiant's
tower,
top tower
and now the
fallen.
courier of Jackie rushing through the Roshan. We'll see it. MG Trust, I don't know if they
Dire's
kind
bottom
of
tower
missed
is
their
under attack.
timing, because now everyone on Among Us are up. But there is still a nice little damage spike here for Jackie. He does have the MKB up, but he's TP'd down to the bot lane. So he's going to clear out this wave, and this is going to give a chance to Among Us to go for that Roshan play while Jackie's not around, if they realize it's there. But they've smoked up. Roshan has the Ags upgrade, by the way, John. Abed would love that right now.
Oh.
Dream smoke broken. He's going to morph into Fearless as the Ember. Abed going to zip in now. Oh, stun is out. Oh, the smoke screen as well. Abed! He gets taken out. He's bursted. Arena has been dropped by Cuckoo. It has not caught anyone. Still, they will kill off Masros, but Zephyr's dead. Jackie looking for a way back to this team fight. Going for that Arcane Rune, but Fearless, he'll be the one to take it. Into the arrow, onto Cuckoo, and Cuckoo's going to die. Now March, underneath the Sentry Ward, also going to go down. A triple kill out for Jackie. He is now godlike. And that Roshan belongs to Motivate Trust.
Hiding machine.
Oh boy, that's just unfortunate. Like Among Us, they just didn't guess right. They didn't think Roche would be up. They don't check the pit. They tried to force the fight, and this time Jackie was not greedy. He drops all his spells. They get the control off, and Abed just absolutely melted. Like, he just has no stats to stand up. It's that Aegis, Cheese, and the Ags upgrade going away with MG Trust. That'll be a massive boon for them. I wonder who they give the Ags upgrade to. Right, it is on Q right now. So you're gonna have the extra damage coming out through Starstorm unless he passes it on.
It's got to be the Masro. Yeah, it's the Masro.
Yeah, 100%. There you go.
I mean, and that's the thing for Abed as well, right? I think you have to pay a bit more respect to Masros on the Slaughter. Because he's done that multiple times this game, Masros, where he does catch out Abed before he can BKB. And if you get stunned before the BKB comes out, it seems as though Jackie will just have way more than enough damage to burst you down.
Oh yeah.
That last team fight, he zipped in without popping the BKB and just got stunned instantly.
No, he was the one playing greedy that time. When you talk about Jackie being greedy with his spell use, you can't afford to be like that when the game's on edge. And now you have a massive lead for MG Trust. 22 to 42, 19k up. Among Us does have really good high ground defense. The Ags for Abed is still just 600 gold off. So if they actually get patient enough, find that in the next defense fight, the Vortex will still play a big part. I think they've got to be a bit patient on Among Us. Get Abed the farm he needs. With that zip, he's just about 200 gold off. So it is going to be online. The question is whether or not Among Us is going to give him that time. And it looks like you have no choice. The shove out is just too consistent from Abed. It is a Storm at 25. You mentioned it, but that talent is just obnoxious. And that does keep MG Trust at bay for now. So you've got the Vortex flying in, the AoE Vortex, mini black hole ready to go with that spell prism. We'll see if Abed can get the initiation he wants.
John, that blink range on Jackie with the blink strike, it just got bigger because Boombell has a telescope.
Oh,
so yeah, I mean he's going to be blinking from I don't even know how much range. It's already 1,375 range without the telescope. So we add on the telescope and it's a plus 125. So you're not really safe no matter where you go. And speaking of Jackie, John, he's TP'd down to the bot lane. He's going to have a look for Zephyr, but Zephyr does wisely TP away and is going to be able to make it out.
Yeah, I'm actually rather curious about Jackie's item choice here now. Like, he's got the flicker for the purge off. I'm just wondering, was there nothing else? No, that's on.
Oh, Abed. Hatches Fearless does have the Ags up now. So you've got to be worried about that AoE Vortex out from Abed. It is going to be very, very dangerous in a team fight. Especially if Zephyr and Cuckoo can jump on top of that Vortex and just throw every spell they have on everyone. Of course, even in your dream, will be quite dangerous in that scenario. Both teams, though, are being extremely patient. And these game ones of a grand final, they are also extremely important, right? Because you tend to find the team that gets the momentum going in that game one tends to feel pretty good in the games following after it.
Well, definitely, it's a huge
Radiant's
morale
top
boost. And
barracks are under
again,
attack.
both teams are right on the edge. They've been evenly matched. You get that first game win, you're going to be confident going into the rest of
Radiant's
the
bottom
series.
tower is under
And
attack.
speaking of confidence, Jackie's just starting on that high ground, shoving out the creep wave.
He's
One man is down.
got his BKB in his backpack, John. He's got to be careful. I mean, he does have the Aegis, but you don't want to throw it away for nothing. Masron's going to front line.
what? Abed, why?
He went on the smoke screen, Abed!
Normally.
Oh, he didn't realize, Jackie, he had the level 25 talent. He had the plus 125 smoke screen AoE. He didn't see it.
Oh, he has no buyback as well, Mike.
Radiant's middle tower
He bought
has
the
fallen.
Oh, no. That's not the way you want to lose game one. And oh, boy, that one's going to hurt. Jackie now, he smells victory. He's jumping in after Cuckoo. Cuckoo BKB's up. They do blow him up once. They got the
Radiant's middle
Aegis.
barracks are under
Great
attack.
start.
Radiant's middle barracks
Even without
has
their
fallen.
storm, they might be able to turn and
Radiant
defend this.
structures are fortified.
They do lose their melee barracks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maseros is onto the bot lane of tier 3s. They want at least 2 racks, but they do have the opportunity to go for the third as well, because they still have to be protected with that armor. Still, a great toss back out from Zephyr. They're going to try and burst out Maseros, and they do get away with it. Now Jackie, he can't really man-fight in your dream, or maybe he can. Fearless is in on the Ember with the Scythe of Vice out. He does Hex him up, and now the Remnant's coming out. Fearless just blows up everyone. No buyback on March
Radiant's
or
bottom tower
Zephyr.
is under attack.
It is 2
Radiant's
versus
bottom
4.
tower
We'll make
is
that
full.
5. Maseros,
Radiant's
he's
bottom
back.
barracks are under attack.
He did buyback, so he's going to be a bit
Radiant's bottom
cautious here on this
barracks
Slaughter.
is full.
But
Radiant's
again,
bottom
John, all lanes are open. They can go for the Megas.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
This
Radiant's middle
You're going to have
barracks is full.
Abed up at the least, but they're 3 against 5. This is not a very easy fight. They don't have arena.
Radiant's
Have
top
to be
barracks
cautious
are
with how they
under
jump
attack.
in here.
Oh boy. The back of one little mistake. Are they really going to get Megan here? It looks like they are.
Radiant's
Motivate.
top barracks.
They get the
Radiant's
Megas.
top
They're going to back off. Abed is going to zip. Oh, the Hex is down. Fearless. He's caught Abed again with the Hex. That has to be it.
Normally.
You have to call it after that, John. Up against Megas without your Storm.
Fortune.
Fearless on the Ember. With the Scythe of Vice. Quick reactions out. Oh, sometimes you got to preemptively BKB. He didn't see them because the smoke was there as well from MG Trust. Can they defend? Cuckoo, he's going to drop the arena onto Q, but Maseros is there on the Slaughter. He does have buybacks. Cuckoo can make his way back into this team fight. In your dream, he's going to try and hold on, but Jackie, he's jumped in now. Cuckoo is going to commit the buyback. Fearless remnanting it as well, looking for a way back out, but he'll jump on some mark. Meanwhile, in your dream, goosed up into the arrow and the stun, under the smoke screen. He's trying to fight back up against Maseros, but he is fully strength morphed right now. He has no damage. He needs to run. He will waveform away, but can he make it out? The side device again from Fearless. The Earth Splitter. He dies midair.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Normally.
Have they called it? I believe they must have.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
There you go. Oh, what a game 1 out from Motivate Trust Among Us. I mean, we can't lie, John. Mistakes were made from multiple people. And I believe it wasn't looking good for them anyway, but they definitely had a chance